Okay, so it's here, Black Panther, the latest Marvel movie, and one that kind of changes the landscape, I guess, for superhero comic book movies, given that we have a black central character and pretty much the majority of side characters and supporting characters are also black. So what does that mean? Well, as far as the film goes, not a right lot. It's just business as usual, you know. But I do have to, before I get into my review, just say something, which is this. I have a daughter, you know, and when I take my daughter to the cinema, when I eventually start doing so, she's not that into it at the moment, I want to be able to show her movies that she can identify with strong, empowered female characters, you know. I want her to grow up having those people to look up to, you know. So I think there's plenty of those around right now. But let's just say I was a black man, okay? I gotta say, if I'm being perfectly honest, looking around, there ain't a right lot, is there? You know, what I'm saying is there's a lot of hype around this movie, and I think a lot of that hype is misplaced, shall we say. I don't know, is wrong. What I'm saying is don't believe the hype, but I can understand it completely. If I was a black man and I had a son or a daughter, being able to take them to this film and have them finally have a character that they can identify with, you know, that there isn't a white guy or a white woman, I get it. I get that. I get why that is a big deal, you know. So just bear that in mind when I say whatever I'm going to say in my review, which is this. Look, this doesn't reinvent the wheel. You know, it does everything that a typical Marvel movie does. It's a comic book movie. It's got some real good positives, some ups, and it's got some downs. One of the major things that is a down on this is the CGI. Real over reliance on it, I must say, and some of it doesn't look that good, particularly towards the end in the final act, which again, the final act of this film feels fairly generic as far as comic book movies go, and I wish they'd have focused primarily on Black Panther and the main villain Killmonger, but they keep cutting away to this other battle, and that other battle wouldn't be so bad if it wasn't so filled with, like I say, this CGI and quite bad CGI at that. But like I say, that's mainly the downs. As for the positives, as with all Marvel movies, there's some really great action stuff here. There's some really great characters. I do like Michael B. Jordan's villain. I think he's one of the better villains we've had in Marvel from a writing standpoint, not necessarily from a performance standpoint. Again, that isn't to slag off Michael B. Jordan. I think he is a good actor. You know, I've heard some comments when this came out about him being compared to Heath Ledger's Joker, and I'm sorry, but if you're honestly trying to make that comparison, you're off the beaten path. He doesn't come close to being as good as someone like Heath Ledger's Joker. So few do. But as far as Marvel movie villains go, yeah, he's a good one. He's well written. I understand his characterizations. However, I would have liked a bit more in there when he was a child, seeing how he was put down upon, you know, particularly by white culture, because that's one of the driving forces behind his character. You know, he's trying to go to Wakanda, raise an army essentially to go back and go against his oppressors being the white Western world. But we're told that all the time from his character. We're told it. We're never shown it. Ever. All we see of this guy as a kid is him playing basketball with his friends. You know, it's just having fun with his friends. So we never see this turmoil kind of enacted out. We're just told it, you know. And going back to the first rule of screenwriting, show, don't tell. We're never shown, we're told all the time. So for me, that was a bit of a downside. I would have liked to have seen that at the beginning of the film, you know, to see why that hatred towards white Western culture is there. I understand it, I get it, because I know, you know, I know this, what kind of character they're trying to give us here and where he comes from, but we've not seen it. You know, you look at a film like Detroit and you see what the people go through in that, you could understand a hatred coming out. You know, you could understand where that kind of Killmonger style hatred would come from. Here, I don't, because we're not shown it, we're just told it. That's a downside for me. But like I say, still a good villain. One of the better ones, I'd say, from Marvel, because he at least has motivation beyond world domination for the sake of world domination. I think the world itself that they've created is extremely colourful. I love it, really love it. I particularly love the costume design. I think come next year's Oscars, this should probably be up for a costume design a nomination. Some really cracking stuff, you know, like, because there's 5 different tribes in Wakanda in this, and they've all got different costume designs, and there's something going on with some guy's mouth with this ring thing that sits in it. It's just it's wacky, but it's very, you know, beautiful to look at, all these different colours and the vibrancy that is on show. Chadwick Boseman impresses, I think, in the lead role as Black Panther, as does Lupita Nyong'o, who I like. You know, she really made a mark after 12 Years a Slave. Yeah, she's great here, but Chadwick Boseman, I'm thankful that they cast him, is all I can say. He's definitely right for this part. He runs with it, and to me, he's definitely the clear standout from the film. It's always good to see Angela Bassett. I recently enjoyed her work in Strange Days, you know, quite an older film, but yeah, I really like her as an actress. Good that she's still getting work in pretty big films. I really liked Andy Serkis as well as Ulysses Claw. He gets some of the biggest laughs, I think, in this film, and he does have to my ears anyway, a pretty good South African accent. I like this character. I liked him in Avengers Age of Ultron, and I really love him here. Like I say, quite a standout side character for me. So this is a very good film, a really strong Marvel movie. You know, with regards to Marvel, they pretty much do what they do. They tend to be fairly consistent, and this is no different. Now, I wouldn't say it was top tier at the level of like Winter Soldier or Civil War. I do think that at the moment Captain America seems to have a monopoly on the top tier Marvel movies. But yeah, it's strong, and it's certainly a heck of a lot better than Spider-Man or Ant-Man, as far as I'm concerned. I wasn't overly fond of those two, although Ant-Man has grown on me recently. But yeah, very good film. I give it a 4 out of 5. So if you've seen Black Panther, I want to know what you thought about it. Please leave your comments below, let me know what you thought, and until next time, crack it.